Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Decked Up, a gaming and tech podcast. I'm your host, Mekel Kasanova. I'm coming at you with this episode in collaboration with NIS America because the upcoming Disgaea 7 is right around the corner. And I want to share with you guys my excitement for that release, as well as give you, a preview of what's to come, what you should expect in Disgaea 7, and my personal history with the franchise since its original release on the PlayStation 2 20 years ago. I feel so old right now. But anyways, we're going to dive into and talk about Disgaea and why it is such a treasured series for me personally, and why it's so much fervor whenever a new entry is announced. So before we do any of that, I want to first thank NIS America for the opportunity to talk about and share some of the information with you guys for Disgaea 7. And also, I want to thank all of you because you guys have made this the #1 tech and gaming podcast here in Hawaii. And, every week we have thousands upon thousands of downloads and streams on various podcasting platforms. And, it does so well on the YouTube channel as well. So I want to thank you guys so much for the opportunity to, take my love of gaming and tech and just take it to the next level. So outside of that, if you guys are watching this podcast in video format on YouTube, then make sure you like the video, sub to the channel if you haven't already, and the notification bell. Also pre-order Disgaea 7. I'll leave links down below so you can go ahead and do that. And if you're listening to it on audio format, then hey, give us some feedback. Tell us what you think of the show. And also, what is your experience with the Disgaea franchise? So with all that being said, let's go ahead and dive into understanding the Disgaea phenomena. So, I have a question for you guys. Have you ever wondered what Disgaea is all about? Why does it elicit such excitement every time there's talk of a new release? And, if you're curious about my affection for the series and why the upcoming Disgaea 7 is a cause for celebration, then you know what? This is going to be a good episode for you, and we're going to shed some light on that. So let's talk about the Disgaea legacy. We're going to explore that. So the Disgaea franchise was born in 2003 under the aegis of Nippon Ichi and has grown into a beacon of the company's success. Residing in the same tactical strategy RPG realm as Fire Emblem and Final Fantasy Tactics, Disgaea has its own unique allure, primarily associated with post-game grinds and gargantuan numbers. After all, how many game franchises allow you to ascend to level 9,999? Yeah, kind of drawing blanks. I'm sure there are some out there. I just don't personally know of any outside of Disgaea, or unless it's another NIS title. But other than that, yeah, I don't know of any others. So Disgaea stands out with Takehito Harada's distinct chibi art style and Tenpai Sato's quirky soundtrack. Both are integral to the series since its conception, giving you that little DeLorean trip to understanding where it came from. Let's go ahead and talk about my journey with Disgaea. So my journey with the Disgaea saga commenced with the first release on the PlayStation 2 back in the day, back in 2003. And since then, I've ventured into every Disgaea game and explored similar offerings from NIS America, like Phantom Brave, La Pucelle, Soul Nomad, Cross Edge, Trinity Universe, and of course, the full spectrum of Disgaea 1 through Disgaea 6, the most recent one that came out about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago at this time. Now, notably, I've invested almost 1,000 hours into each game, illustrating how engrossing these games can be. And as a standout in the series, Disgaea Dimension 2 holds a special place in my heart. Now, I also want to decode the Disgaea gameplay because you probably want to know a little bit more. You want a little bit more meat on the bones, we're going to just dive into and talk about this gameplay. So at its core, Disgaea is a tactics game that rewards your investment. You could opt for a casual romp through the main story, or you can dive deep into game mechanics, grind your way to the apex level, and flaunt extraordinary stats. While Disgaea's gameplay stands robust, the storytelling rife with enemy tropes may not resonate. It may not resonate with everyone, but it's the combination of intriguing narratives and exhilarating gameplay that sets it apart. The gameplay has unique elements beyond staggering numbers. There's the item world, where you boost an item's stats by clearing levels. Then there's the assembly, where you negotiate game enhancements with a monster parliament. And then going further from that, the battle system presents various attack types such as team attack, tower attack, and special abilities like magic change. And that's just a glimpse of Disgaea's unique gameplay. Now, if you're concerned about the need to play previous games to understand the sequels, worry not. Each title in the series is a standalone game, making it perfectly fine to start with the latest release and then go from there. Now, let's talk about Disgaea 7 and where I ultimately think the series, you know, it it has some missteps with Disgaea 6. And as much as I enjoyed Disgaea 6, I can't overlook that it did make a lot of erroneous errors that I'm happy to see them not return in Disgaea 7, and I hope that we don't get that to occur again in the series. So Disgaea 7's imminent arrival excites me for numerous reasons. It appears that NIS has acknowledged fan feedback and is addressing Disgaea 6's weaknesses. Among the promising changes are the return of classic generic classes and weapon skills, the exciting prospect of item reincarnation, along with intriguing main characters and a very, very intriguing storyline. Two atypical partners, one unforgettable adventure. The struggle to liberate Hinomoto is on the horizon in Disgaea 7, Vows of the Virtueless. Let's talk about the landscape of Hinomoto's netherworlds. So Hinomoto is a land teeming with various netherworlds, each with its distinct personality, from Haunt Springs, where vengeful spirits and specters seethe, to the Sardemon world, nestled within a colossal cosmic sardine, and Shikuroku's fascinating waves shaped by a multitude of demons swirling like aquatic floral. In this realm of diverse netherworlds, the inhabitants once followed a code conflicting with their innate demonic nature, Bushido. However, those days are long past. When Demodor Opener and his nether army set foot in Hinomoto, the land was forever altered. The demonic residents now live under the iron rule of the Hinomoto Code of Destruction, imposed by Opener. Hinomoto Code of Destruction, Decree number 1. Bushido, busted to bits. Decree number 2. Someone unhappy with taxes or wages? Kill him to death. Decree number 3. Friendship and love? Hard pass. Decree number 4. Boost strength, crush weakness. Yes, please. Decree number 5. Fighting makes the netherworld go round. Go for it. Anyone who disobeys these laws gets harakiri'd. Today, the noble warriors of the land are a mere echo of the past, and thus our narrative unfolds in these worlds that have lost their dignity. It is a tale of a girl devoted to Bushido and a boy who detests it. Now bound by a common cause, they must stand up for each other's convictions. To confront the oppressive Demodor Opener and his demonic magistrates, Fuji and Perilica must assemble 7 legendary weapons of immense power. Can this fragile coalition, burdened by conflicting ideologies, withstand the looming trials? Well, look, if you thought you had Disgaea figured out, prepare to be surprised. Disgaea 7 expands the universe, introducing over 40 character classes, each boasting distinct skills, ready to transform the battlefield. Disgaea 7 presents a game-changing feature, Jumpification. Supersize your characters and overturn the battlefield dynamic. Harness new powers, outmaneuver your adversaries, and seize victory with flair. And you want to know what else Disgaea 7 does? It brings in Hell Mode, which is a level of difficulty that lives up to its name. Put your tactics to the test, stretch your boundaries, and overcome the insurmountable. Are you prepared to brave Hell Mode? Because it's literally hell, you know? Like, no pun intended, it's hell. With all that being said, are you feeling up to the challenge? Secure your copy of Disgaea 7 by pre-ordering now and prepare to embark on this epic journey later this year. Now, I still have hope for a return of previous classes and designs, perhaps through an extra class system gated by an assembly bill. This could manage to bloat and bring back old favorites without affecting the game's balance. I'm also fond of the idea of reimagining all previous games in 3D, enabling cross-compatibility between games. Imagine unlocking a class in one game and having it available in others. And Also, the anticipation of Disgaea 7 is palpable. And I honestly want to know, what are your thoughts about the series and the forthcoming release? Would you consider exploring older titles ahead of Disgaea 7's launch? As a Disgaea enthusiast, I encourage you to dive into its rich history. Each title offers a unique glimpse into the evolution of the series, bringing its own set of characters, quirks, and narrative nuances. Plus, experiencing the predecessors does give you a greater appreciation of the advancements that Disgaea 7 is set to bring. And as of this recording, you can pretty much play through all the main Disgaea titles, 1 to 6, on PC, and on Switch, I believe you can play 1, 4, 5, and 6. So you've got options there. And then if you're into retro collecting, you can just about play everything because everything's on retro. But all that being said, whether you're a longstanding fan or a newcomer, the Disgaea world promises an encouraging, strategic, and often humorous journey. It's a game series that has stood the test of time, and with each new entry continues to innovate and charm its players. Disgaea 7's release this summer is a thrilling prospect for all of us who love the series, so I encourage you to join in the excitement and pre-order the game, share your thoughts, and explore this unique world that is Disgaea. Whether you're revisiting past titles or awaiting Disgaea 7, we're on this journey together, so let's anticipate, discuss, and celebrate Disgaea's next chapter. And I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts. And with that being said, that's the episode for today. Decked Up, a gaming and tech podcast. We want to dive into Disgaea ahead of Disgaea 7's release. So if you enjoyed this, make sure you let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment, share it around, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're listening to it on other platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, wherever you're listening to it, even Amazon Music, all the major podcasting platforms, make sure you let us know what you think. And if you are a Disgaea fan as well, or if you just like tactical RPGs, because, hey, who doesn't? All that being said, I hope to see you guys on the next one. Again, thank you to NIS America for this amazing opportunity, and I hope to see you guys at the launch of Disgaea 7. So all that being said, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Stay safe, be blessed, and I'll see you around. Peace.